This is Danny Gilfillan for Seconds Out. We are at the weigh-in for Leigh Wood versus Josh Warrington. It's a pleasure to be joined by the trainer of Josh Warrington, Sean O'Hagan. Sean, Josh has been involved in some big fights, some big domestic fights. This one feels like it's one of, if not the biggest. Talk me through your thoughts as we're almost 24 hours out from fight night.
Yeah, I mean, I think every fight is your biggest fight, isn't it? You know, but this one feels like it does feel a little bit special. It's got that little bit of added extra glitz about it. As you can see, nice venue. Everybody's gone out of the way. Press are here, fans are here, and I think we can expect fireworks.
As we say, a lot of people, I'm not sure where it's come from, but Josh is a huge underdog in this fight in the eyes of many, which, this is what I was saying yesterday, if you told people 2.5, 3 years ago that Josh Warrington would be an underdog against Leigh Wood, people would look at you like you were crazy. As a trainer, how does that affect your mindset and preparation coming into the fight? You know, Josh is, for a long time, been regarded as the best featherweight in the country, and a lot of people are sort of bestowing that upon Leigh Wood. Has that changed the mentality, or do you manage to keep a business head on?
No, not really. It doesn't affect us at all. I think what people are forgetting is, from early on in his career, as we started entering the world stage, we've always been underdog. We were underdog against Lee Selby, we were underdog against Carl Frampton, we were underdog against Kiko Martinez twice. We're always the underdog, and we don't mind at all. You know what I mean? We're quite happy being the underdog. It takes pressure off.
What have you made of this sort of resurgence we've seen from Leigh Wood? He's had, it's almost like a sort of Rocky-esque story going from the Kanzu fight into Conlon, the two Lara fights. How do you assess Leigh as an opponent? Like, how do you break down the fight?
To be honest with you, I'm not taking nothing away from Leigh. He's fought whoever's been put in front of him. But I think we've fought the better quality opponents, I'll be honest with you. I mean, a lot of these guys that we're being asked to comment on a kind of, you know, we don't have any dislike for them. We wish them any ill, you know. But when you really look at the resumes, not just the last couple of fights, but I mean, their whole career, I think we've been in with better quality opposition.
So despite being an underdog, do you still think Josh is a class above Leigh?
I don't like saying class above because it's boxing and it's levels and everything else. I just think he's going to be too much for him. And I don't think he sees the end bell, I'll be honest with you.
A lot's been made. It's sort of no secret, Leigh's even said himself that the cut down to 126 pounds isn't particularly good for him. He says he wants to move up potentially to super feather after the fight. Do you think Josh is going to be the better man at the weight tomorrow night?
We don't have any issues with the weight at all. We never have done. He's seasoned at this weight. I mean, when Josh really could have done super bantam early on in his career, while he still had his youthfulness about him, we seasoned him at featherweight, so we've never ever had an issue with the weight. I don't know, is that genuine with Leigh? If he's struggling that much, should he be fighting? Or is he just covering his bets for the outcome? Is he covering all his bets? I don't know. But I do like Leigh. I like him as a fighter. And like I say, I can't find any niggle personally. I've just been stood, I think, having a chat with his mum and his auntie. You know what I mean? Right, nice. They're an ordinary family just like we are, you know. And whatever's said today, and there might be a bit of pushing and shoving, I'm sure once it's all said and done, everybody will be all happy and friendly again.
Just, I know you won't be looking past Leigh for a second, but one thing Josh has always wanted is that big away day in the States. Is that what you potentially still have in the pipeline if he does get past Leigh on Saturday night, or is it just a massive, at the stage of his career, for the biggest fights possible?
Listen, belts don't pay bills, do they? I'll tell you what makes sense to me. This is only my thoughts. I think Michael Conlon in New York on St. Patrick's Day would be a fantastic spectacle. You know, what anybody else thinks, I don't know, but I think both fighters deserve that, you know, and it'd be good for them. That's what springs to mind.
Just last one on Saturday night, Sean. Josh has sort of, I don't want to say he's been irate, but he feels that people aren't giving him the credit he deserves for his punch power. He mentioned how Carl Frampton has stated that he's one of the hardest hitters that he's been in the ring with, despite maybe not having the best knockout percentage. A lot of people are billing Leigh as the puncher in this fight, but you think potentially that the difference in punch power isn't as big as that's been made out in some quarters?
There's factors behind punching, isn't there? Now, he's being able to punch and he's being able to hold a punch. I've seen a little bit of both from Leigh. I'll tell you now, any professional fighter is a puncher. If they're landing on you and the timing's right and it's a clean shot, any of them's a puncher. But I think, it depends what opposition is really, doesn't it? Let's face it, Lara last time round, he came and went through motions. Michael Conlon can still do super bantam. What does that tell you? When Lara turned up to fight, then he beat Leigh Wood at his best. Lara beat us when we were at his lowest ebb, 17 months out of the ring, couldn't fly no sparring in because of COVID. Really ill prepared, and in hindsight, we should have turned that fight down. So there we go. But anyway, listen, I think it's going to be a fantastic spectacle. I think it's going to be edgy seat stuff.
That's what I want to get your thoughts on, Sean, just away from Saturday night. I saw Maxi Hughes at the press conference yesterday. Despite what was, in the eyes of most people, a pretty bad decision against George Kambosos, he's still in relatively good spirits. Just what's the latest from Maxi? How's it been sort of picking him back up after what must have been a pretty bitter pill to swallow for him?
Well, we didn't launch an official investigation because to do that, you've got to part with 10,000 quid. Who's going to be investigating it? Is it going to be the very guys that gave us that decision? So we weren't prepared to risk that. What we did was we went directly to the IBF. The IBF sent us a lovely email saying that they found the judging to be inaccurate, there were discrepancies, and that they can't say that they didn't agree with it. But what they've done is they've put Maxi now at number 4. So you've got Lomachenko, you've got Kambosos, Lomachenko, Isaac Cruz and Maxi Hughes. So that says everything, doesn't it? I don't know, anything can happen in boxing. It could be Maxi Hughes gets a shot at the winner. He may have to box for the eliminator, he may not, we don't know yet. But he's in a good position. Do
you sort of take a bit of positivity from the fact that all the belts, I know the WBC's already become vacant, the other 3 belts are likely to follow after Devin Haney moving up, and as you say, Maxi's 4th, so potentially a world title shot, the lightweight might not be that far away.
Listen, yeah, I think you're right, really. Anything can happen in boxing. Things move about, belts move about, but I think everybody who saw that fight was screened in 79 countries around the world. Commentators, Shakur Stevenson, Bradley, Womack, everybody that watched that fight. You should see him at ringside.
Yeah, it was class.
Everybody says Maxi absolutely stood him on his head. 9 rounds to 3, yeah, and they were being generous at that. Maxi turned him inside out and stood him on his head. 79 countries, I don't know how many million around the world. So Maxi Hughes emerged as one of the best lightweights on the planet, and I think it's very, very difficult to bet against.
Is that one of the positives you take when you've got Maxi Hughes, a Yorkshire fella, and you've got the likes of Shakur Stevenson singing his praise at ringside, even though the decision didn't go in your way, that still must feel nice both for Maxi and yourself as a trainer?
It's got to be a positive. Kambosos swans in there with his big entourage, all glitz and glamour, Las Vegas this, Las Vegas that. And like I say, all the wallpaper and the decoration look great, but you saw him, he couldn't produce, could he? You know what I mean? So, for me, everybody saw it, and if they're going to be honest and the real boxing people, they'll agree with me and say Maxi Hughes is one of the best lightweights on the planet. And he'll prove that. He's in the twilight of his career now, I think. Or is he? He's 33. He's getting better every fight. Maybe he's reborn, we don't know, do we?
Sean, thanks for giving me your time, mate. Huge fight Saturday night. I'm buzzing for it. All the best.